Hello, welcome to Wisdom Snippets. For this week, my name is Peter, and it is my pleasure to come your way with another edition of Wisdom Snippets. Now, this week, I want to talk to us about wisdom and simplicity, or if you like, say wisdom and predictability. That genuine wisdom simplifies a person's life, just as foolishness complicates people's lives. Genuine wisdom simplifies people's lives just as foolishness complicates their lives. Foolishness creates problems for people, even where there is none, even where there shouldn't be any problem. But wisdom bails people out of problems. Wisdom makes people to avoid certain challenges, certain problems in life. In fact, I say wisdom is all about learning to avoid and solve some problems, learning to avoid some problems as well as solving others. If a person is wise in life, there are problems that they will outrightly avoid in life. So in the Bible, it says a wise person foresees evil and hides themselves. A wise person foresees evil and hides themselves. So there are avoidable problems in life, and wisdom actually make a person to see ahead and actually just avoid such. So that's why I say wisdom simplifies a person's life. Wisdom simplifies a person's decision. Wisdom, for example, make people to consider the consequences of their actions, and because they keep the consequences in mind, they are conscious of what they do, the choices they make. So, in other words, a foolishness is not seeing ahead or not looking deeply into the consequences of one's choices and just making decisions arbitrarily. So, ordinarily speaking, no one will admit or agree that they are foolish, but their results will always tell. Their results will always show. So if people have problems with their children, they have problems with their husband, they have problems with their friends, they have problems with their bosses, they think everybody is against them, and they come up with this victimhood mentality. It doesn't take a genius or even a prophet for you to know that such individuals are foolish. The problem is actually with such individuals, not with all these people that they think are against them. So, in other words, before you ask, for example, why people hate you or why somebody always pick on you, why people seem to be against you, always ask yourself, do you or are you conducting your affairs in all wisdom? Are you actually taking steps, being conscious of the consequences of the decisions that you are making? So wisdom simplifies a person's life. For example, in their finances, wisdom make people to budget and live within their means. Wisdom simplify people in their relationship. You make them to understand their uniqueness and not compare themselves with other people. Wisdom simplifies people's life in how they raise their children, in how they handle their resources. Wisdom simplifies people's life in terms of how they manage their health. Wisdom simplifies people's life in terms of how they handle their relationship with their God. And foolishness actually make people to go or do the exact opposite of these things that we are saying. So what we are saying is, as much as there are some things that you cannot predict in life, or there are externalities that affect people in life, to a large extent, there are decisions that you can make that will make your future predictable. There are choices that you can make today that you can tell what the outcome will be. And that is what I mean by simplicity. Wisdom simplifies a person's life. Wisdom makes people to consider the consequences of their choices before they actually make decisions. The wisdom makes people to bring the future into the present when making decisions. Whereas foolishness almost always is about the present, the now, subscribing to emotions, subscribing to sentiments without necessarily thinking about the long-term impact of such. So if everything seems complicated about any individual, if everywhere that people talk, it seems to be that they have problems with everybody or with everything they do, it is an indication that they have not conducted themselves wisely in making decisions. And the solution is simple: begin to make conscious decisions, begin to think about the future while you make decisions in the present, begin to think about the consequences of your choices, and you will be amazed at how predictable many things will become about your life, positively speaking. I hope that has inspired you. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. Remember, your success in life is too sure with God. I'll see you next time.